You are listening to the Archives of Darkness, where the shadows of history whisper their secrets. Before we begin, a word of caution. The following episode contains descriptions of historical crimes, violence, and murder. While care has been taken to avoid gratuitous detail, the subject matter may be disturbing to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Opening narrative, Chicago, 1893. The world had come to Chicago to celebrate progress. Electric lights, Ferris wheels, architecture that kissed the clouds. It was the dawn of a new age. And yet, in the shadow of the world's Columbian Exposition, another monument was being built, one to deceit, terror, and death. This was the world of H.H.Holmes, America's first documented serial killer, a man whose charm and intelligence concealed an abyss of cruelty. The making of a monster, he was born Herman Webster Mudgett in 1861 in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, a bright boy from a strict Methodist family. Early stories, perhaps exaggerated, tell of a young Holmes fascinated by death, lingering in medical classrooms, taking apart small animals, and later using cadavers to study anatomy. By all accounts, he was intelligent, articulate, and disturbingly untroubled by morality. In medical school, he learned not just about the human body, but how to exploit bureaucracy, insurance policies, and trust. By his mid-20s, he had reinvented himself, abandoning the name Mudgett and becoming Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, a man of science, a businessman, a respectable gentleman of Chicago. The Castle of Horrors. When Holmes arrived in Englewood, Chicago, he purchased a lot across from a drugstore and began construction on a strange building. Part pharmacy, part hotel, part labyrinth. Locals called it the Castle. 3 stories tall, the structure seemed ordinary from the outside, but inside, corridors led nowhere, staircases ended in blank walls. Rooms were lined with hidden doors, trapdoors, and sealed chambers. Holmes designed the building himself, firing contractors mid-project, so no one but he knew its full design. In the basement, police would later discover vats of acid, quicklime pits, and a dissection table. Pipes carried gas into sealed rooms. The building itself was an instrument, built not for comfort, but control. Fact and fiction. To be clear, much of what has been written about Holmes over the years is tangled in myth. Newspapers of the 1890s were eager to sell copies, and Holmes's story became a carnival of horror. Some tales speak of torture chambers and hundreds of victims. The truth, while no less dark, is smaller, but far more real. Holmes was, above all, a swindler. He seduced, lied, and murdered when it served his ambition. Many of his known victims were women, employees, lovers, or business partners, drawn to his charm and destroyed when they became inconvenient. Others vanished after being offered rooms in his hotel during the World's Fair. Some were never identified. Many were simply forgotten in the bustle of the Gilded Age. Arrest and trial Holmes's downfall did not come from the so-called Castle of Death, but from an insurance scam. His associate, Benjamin Pittersall, was found dead in 1894. Holmes had murdered him, and later confessed to killing 3 of Pittersall's children as well. When he was finally captured in Boston, Holmes remained unshaken. He represented himself in court, calm and eloquent, the perfect gentleman killer. Journalists called him the devil in the White City. In his final confession, Holmes wrote, "I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer." He was executed by hanging on May 7, 1896. Witnesses said he showed no fear, no remorse. Even in death, his expression was composed, as if proud of his infamy. Legacy and myth. After Holmes's death, the castle burned in a mysterious fire. Whether arson or accident, no one knows. Today, the site is a post office. The myth of Holmes, however, lives on, retold in books and television as the embodiment of calculated evil hiding behind civility. But behind the legend stands something simpler and far colder. A man who valued human life only as a means to his own wealth, amusement, or convenience. The true horror of H.H. Holmes was not the building itself, but the mind that built it. Closing reflection. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Archives of Darkness. If you found value in our descent through history's shadows, please subscribe. It helps this archive grow. In our next episode, we journey to Berlin and step into the grim world of Karl Großmann, known as the Butcher of Berlin, a man whose crimes would haunt a nation still reeling from war. Until then, keep your light close. The darkness remembers.